Hi, my name is Mason Waring. I'm a partner at CCK. I'm joined here with my colleague, CCK attorney Elias Small. Today, we're going to talk about some of the differences between short-term disability insurance and long-term disability insurance. We're going to talk about some of the differences between the claims, what you might experience transitioning from short-term disability to long-term disability with the same insurance company and with a different insurance company. So let's get rolling. First, Leah, could you tell our viewers some basics about the differences between short-term and long-term disability?
Absolutely. So short-term disability insurance covers a portion of a claimant's income if they become temporarily disabled and unable to work. Typically, you have to be disabled for a week to 2 weeks before those benefits are going to start, and they're going to last for a limited period of time, typically a maximum of 3 to 6 months. Conversely, long-term disability insurance covers a portion of a claimant's income if they become disabled and unable to work for a longer period of time. Oftentimes, you must be disabled for at least 90 to 180 days before long-term disability benefits start. But assuming you continue to meet the definition of disability in your policy, benefits can last typically until you reach your normal retirement age, although it's important to read your policy to see exactly how long benefits are payable for. Oftentimes, for people who have both short-term and long-term disability insurance, the short-term disability insurance can cover that gap before long-term disability benefits kick in.
And not everybody has short-term disability insurance, so you want to check with your employer to see if it's offered and you're participating in those plans to make sure that you have that coverage. And if you do not have short-term disability insurance, look at your state's mandatory insurance. Some states like Rhode Island have TDI insurance that provides a short-term disability-like benefit, but through a state program that you pay in through that you paid for through payroll deduction. So just things to keep in mind. So Leah, could you talk about some of the core differences between short-term disability and long-term disability insurance?
Sure. One of the biggest things to pay careful attention to is the definitions of disability in your short-term disability and long-term disability policy. Oftentimes, for short-term disability benefits, you must be disabled from your own occupation, and typically that definition doesn't change during the life of your short-term disability claim. For long-term disability benefits, oftentimes you must be disabled from your own occupation initially, but after a set period of time, normally 24 to 48 months, you must then demonstrate you're disabled from any occupation in order to be entitled to continued benefits. Long-term disability policies can also have more restrictions and exclusions than short-term disability policies. For example, your long-term disability policy may exclude certain conditions from coverage or limit the amount of time you can receive benefits for certain conditions. And long-term disability policies often have what we call a pre-existing condition exclusion as well, which excludes disabilities that are due to conditions you treated for prior to obtaining the coverage from receiving long-term disability benefits. So it's really important because things like the definition of disability, benefit provisions, exclusions, limitations can really differ. It's really important that you read your short-term disability policy and your long-term disability policy to make sure you understand the terms and the levels of coverage of each. And you shouldn't assume that if you are to be approved for short-term disability, that automatically means you're going to be approved for long-term disability benefits as well, because there can be a lot of differences between the two.
And that's a good segue to the next topic, which is what someone can expect when they're transitioning from short-term disability to long-term disability insurance with the same insurance company.
So when both your claims are with the same insurance company, the insurer might start reviewing your long-term disability claim before your short-term disability claim ends in order to avoid a gap of coverage. However, they are still separate claims, so you might still need to fill out new claim forms, get your doctors to write reports in support of your claim. And it's really important that what you report in support of your long-term disability claim is consistent with what you reported in support of your short-term disability claim. But again, make sure you're reading your LTD policy to understand what do I need to demonstrate, what evidence do I need to provide in order to be continued to benefits under this new policy.
Yeah, and to repeat what you said before, don't assume that because you're getting short-term disability benefits that you'll get the long-term disability benefits. Got to read the policy and really pay attention to all the rules and conditions there. So, Leah, could you talk next about what someone can expect transitioning from STD to LTD with a different insurance company? Because sometimes the short-term disability is either provided by the employer or a particular insurance company, and there might be a different insurer for long-term disability.
Right. And so when your claim for long-term disability benefits is with a different insurance company, you're often starting completely from scratch. So again, you'll have to complete claim forms, have your doctors write reports, but you'll also need to make sure you're submitting your medicals, records, and everything else you submitted in support of your short-term disability claim to this new insurance company. And with that, again, read your policy to make sure you understand what the terms of that policy are and that you're submitting everything you need to in support of that claim. But even though it's with a separate insurance company, it can be a good idea to submit evidence of your short-term disability approval because that helps demonstrate that you've previously been found disabled due to this condition, which can help support a claim for long-term disability benefits.
Right, and sometimes we'll get a copy of the short-term disability claim file and submit that to the other insurance company just to make sure that the loop's closed on information there. Really important information. If you have questions about transitioning from short-term disability to long-term disability, if you have any questions about your long-term disability claim, if you've been wrongly denied, please reach out to us. We'd be happy to talk with you to see if we can assist. It costs nothing to see if we can assist. Our number is 401-331-6300. You can also find us on the web at cck-law.com. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if there's a topic you'd like us to hit in the next video. Thanks very much.